G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the west side of the map, playing as the Rus, it is Marine Lord. On the opposite side of the map, spawning in as the English, it is Casper. This game is game number 3 in the series between these two guys. And boy, oh boy, don't we have a game for you today, because this is serious business. If you're unaware, this is a knockout round game. That means that whoever loses this game is going to be going home. Now, if we talk about qualification for the main event, the finals, the playoff series for Golden League, Marine Lord is already through. So he's just basically at this point playing to keep Casper out. And so Casper is going to do everything within his power to win. He's going to bring out all the cheeses, all the outposts, all the good stuff. He's got a pretty decent matchup here. English going up against the Rus, typically considered to be a pretty good matchup for the English, at least before the Horse Archer changes, it was considered good. So we'll look to see how he plays at this game. For anybody unfamiliar with how this matchup has gone already, or rather how this series has gone already, let me help you out with that. We'll follow around this scout as we witness it in all of its glory. There you guys go. That is it. It is Marine Lord versus Casper. So we've had the Delhi Sultanate and the French taken away from Marine Lord. And Casper's already elected to play the Mongols and the Abbasid. So not going to be able to access those civs and enable the last civs that they have picked for this map is the Rus as well as the English. Obviously the map, it is High View. And so that is where we are up to at this point in the series. So whoever wins this, ideally if it's Casper, he is going to be going through to the next round and he'll be in this tournament and looking to try and get through to those final stages. As we mentioned before, Marine Lord at this point basically playing for his ego. That is pretty much it. He's looking to keep Casper out, but obviously he wants to keep the integrity up of the event, so he's going to play out his heart. But over towards the base of Casper, Marine Lord is going to spot out what Casper is up to. Now, if I'm Marine Lord and I see this, what do I see? I see a mill, I see 2 farms already coming down. What am I doing? I'm aging up as quickly as I can, and I'm dropping a second town center. That is it. That's what I'm doing. Now, whether Marine Lord's going to look to do that, I'm not sure exactly whether he's going to be able to, whether he's going to do that, whether he's going to look to do something a little bit different. We'll have to wait, we'll have to see. But Wolves coming in now. He's up to 190 bounty already. Obviously, this is High View, a great map for the Rus here. But at this point in time, it definitely looks like he is intent on going up a little bit slower than what you would typically expect Rus players to do. So he might be even thinking about just going for a fast castle, maybe looking to take the boar. We'll take a look at where the boar spawns are. Actually, pretty decent for him. This is actually a very nice and safe boar. He's got double top boar up along the edge of the map. Obviously not in the middle, so you don't get to have all that beautiful coverage with the golden fortress, with the wooden fortress. But what you do get is a very safe boar, and he'll be able to pull it in here. That way he can drop down his hunting cabin in here and get all of those juicy trees, and then he can drop down the wooden fortress as well. That's obviously going to be his option, and we'll take a look. You can see that he has actually... Oh, I don't know whether he has spotted that out. We'll have to take a second look at it. I don't think he might have spotted that out. It's not showing right now, so I reckon it's going to be right on the edge of his line of sight. But now we've got that age up coming through. 4 villagers going to be dropping down the age up. Not in a hurry to get up. Normally, you would actually see some Rus players, if they're going for a fast town center, and we do see a wooden fortress getting thrown down now. If he was thinking about going for a second town center, he would not be dropping that wooden fortress, or if he was, he would be aging up a lot quicker. Let's just put it that way. And he wouldn't be dropping the wooden fortress. So I don't think it's going to be a second town center out of him. But I'm curious to see how his response is to this, because obviously different players have different ways that they respond to the information that they receive. As an example, Casper here, he's just decided, well, I'm going up against the Rus. I think my best bet here is to go heavy on the farms in the Dark Age, and then once we get into the Feudal Age, then I'll go very heavy on the military. And obviously, that is going to be one way that he looks to try... Oh my god, he's going for an Abbey of the King. Oh my god, he's going for Abbey of Kings. His tournament life is on the line right now. This is the deciding match, and the crazy man goes for the Abbey of the Kings. What are we witnessing right now? What plan has he got in store for us? Are we going to see a fast castle into knights? Are we going to see horsemen out? I suspect it's probably going to be early horsemen that he looks to bring out. It's going to be hard for him to hold onto this gold mine, considering that he's up against the Rus. Rus typically are going to have scouts out, and we can already see that Marine Lord is looking to burn down that. So it's probably going to be an early stable into horsemen, maybe even a fast castle behind that into knights. I suspect that would be the case. And now what have we got right here? Marine Lord is going to be adding a second town center, or is he just going to add in arrow slits? 5 villagers on stone suggests that this is a second town center, but maybe Marine Lord doesn't know about the new sneaky super fast town center build order that people have been doing. So for anybody who doesn't know, essentially it was actually a build order that we did feature on the channel. And so what you would do is you would just neglect your hunting cabin at the beginning of the game, neglect a wooden fortress, save all of that wood and spend it on a town center, and then you would be making sure that you had 200 gold, and then you would just be double trading with your stone, and you can get up to the third age at like 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So technically your second trade comes in at 4 minutes 45, and you can drop down the town center straight away. So we can see the town center here for Marine Lord. Going to be a little bit delayed, but obviously he's got a lot going for him. He's got his wheelbarrow already established. He does have the hunting cabin. He's got the wooden fortress up. He's going to be feeling safe, and he does actually look to do a trade. So he's actually just traded in a whole bunch of stone, and so now he's got enough resources to drop down that town center. He'll be looking to drop that one down, and I think that's the right play, and I'm glad that he's done this. It makes a lot of sense going up against the English when you scout those early farms, that is going to be the case. But I guess the thing was, right, Marine Lord didn't know how Cass was going to play it. It all makes sense now. It's all coming together. I'm working it all out, fellas. Don't worry. I eventually get there. Because Marine Lord comes into this game and he thinks to himself, well, hold on a minute. I don't know what my enemy is going to do. I don't know if he's going to be going aggressive. And then he takes time, and then all of a sudden he scouts out those farms. He knows, okay, he's going greed. I can respond with my own greed. He is a very, evidence-based player. He's always looking for it. So going to be responding with a second town center, and I think that's the right play. Honestly, what I wouldn't be surprised from English players to start doing is dropping down a second town center themselves, and then going for a fast castle, but dropping down a landmark in the middle of the map. Literally dropping, because it's a keep, right? Like, you're literally dropping down a keep, and now you are setting the tempo. You have then got a staging ground. Obviously, it's going to be hard. You don't build keeps as fast as some other civilizations, like China, as an example. But you're still going to have a landmark out there as a keep. Maybe don't go super aggressive on it. I mean, on a map like this, you probably could, just because the chance of that your enemy's going to actually spot it out through this stealth forest, it's going to be rare. So you could definitely go for a position right here. That hunting cabin does provide a nice little bit of line of sight. And look at that juicy hunting cabin. 37 gold coming in right there. It's basically a third of a relic. In fact, more than a third of a relic is coming in right there. Marine Lord going to be falling back in this position. I got to say, I like the way that Marine Lord is opened here. He's now going to be moving into a stable as well. So looking to get out a knight. Maybe put on a bit of aggression. He knows that his enemy's got horsemen out, so it's going to be an effective counter to that. But behind this, we do see Cass thinking about going for that castle age. And the great thing about the Abbey of Kings having it here, he's going to be able to just garrison units inside this town center, forget about them, and then they're up to full health. That's essentially the way that it works. I do like that about the Abbey of Kings. Honestly, the one thing, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think this needs to be changed. I like the Abbey of Kings, but when you consider just how strong the Abbasid medical centers upgrade is for their keeps, you kind of laugh at the Abbey of Kings. The medical centers for the keeps doesn't require a unit to be out of combat. You can be in combat and you can be healing underneath the keep. The Abbey's a landmark, dude. Why can't the Abbey heal? Like, why do I have to be in combat? Or why do I have to be out of combat? It just doesn't make sense to me. I can't wrap my head around it. I mean, I understand, like, you got to, like, let's say for example that you do make it so that the Abbey of Kings all of a sudden is a landmark that heals up. And let's get a nice little picture of this. Let's get a nice little shot right here of this Abbey of Kings. I guess the thing for me is, right, like, you need to make it so that the Abbey of Kings just isn't this landmark that prevents your enemy from ever pushing in. Can you imagine, like, trying to raid villages that are on a wood line here that are getting attacked by horsemen and they're just getting healed up by Abbey of Kings at the same time? Like, it's obviously not going to happen if that's the case in the current state, but if you were to change it and make it so that it wasn't actually a usable landmark in that regard, then all of a sudden, it becomes quite a bit more relevant. And I think that's important. I would honestly, if I was the developer, I would be aiming for like a 50-50 split between my landmarks. I want players to go for, like, 50% of the landmark, or one landmark 50% of the times, one other landmark another 50% of the time. And for the English, obviously, it's been like 99.999% Council Hall and 0.00001% on that, on the Council Hall versus the Abbey of the Kings. And King's Palace kind of feels the same way, right? Like, King's Palace is a very good landmark. It's very rare that you go for the White Tower, the White Castle. It's only ever if you're under a significant amount of pressure and you've got the resources to do it. You're like, I might as well throw this up, otherwise I'm going to die. And so that is one of the options that you've got. But we now see that age up coming through. Walls coming up as well for Caspar. And I got to say, I like this. He is playing for the late game. Going up against the Rus, these two players in the late game, you would have said the Rus before, but I actually do think the English have got them. The primary difference here is going to be the fact that the Rus, even though they are a late game civilization, their spring lords have been nerfed recently. They do have cheaper siege, which is one of the big things, but I do think that the trebuchets from the English really set them apart in the late game. But who knows whether we even get to the late game, because Marine Lord is looking incredibly good right now. You can see he's got a 7 villager lead, but obviously Caspar going to be able to keep up with him. That 7 villager lead will be maintained throughout the game, but remember, when you get to 130 villagers, that is where things sort of even out. But the big difference in this scenario is the fact that Caspar is already going to be out looking to collect relics, and you can see the Abbey of the Trinity not yet training up any of those warrior monks, but he is going to be... Scout went down. Scout went down up towards here. The knight almost going down as well. He's going for that boar. Looks like he's already picked up the first boar. Second boar going to be coming out. He's at 545 bounty. Let's check out this. Let's check out this hunting cabin. 49 gold. Oh my lord, there's so much gold coming in for that. I'm almost surprised that he goes for the Abbey of the Trinity. We actually saw a landmark coming out from Viper where there was a... When he had tier 3 bounty, it was like 400 gold a minute. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to get that kind of level. But, you know, if you were to put like your great... What's it called? You guys know the one I'm talking about. The great... Oh, gosh, I can't remember. I can't remember the landmark. We barely ever see it. The High Trade House. High Trade House. You could probably put it like right here. Wouldn't be the best. Like maybe, I don't know, somewhere over here. It's always tough. I think that spot that Viper had, it was just the perfect spot. You can never beat that spot. But Caspar going to be looking for a bit of a defense now. He's up to the 3rd age. Villages being made in tandem by both of these two players. So 40 villages for Caspar, 49 now for Marine Lord. Well, 41, an 8 villager difference between these two. And we do see that the monastery going to be coming out here for Caspar as well. So he is not going to be neglecting his religious obligations. He is going to be going to church every single day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relics out on the map, still yet to be picked up. And we actually see a warrior monk going to be running back in for Marine Lord. He did initially head out in towards this direction. We actually saw him earlier rallying out towards here. Not going to be the case. Veteran archers coming in. Now, keep in mind, he's going up against longbows. So he's going to have to... you know what? At this point in the game, I'm pretty happy with how this has gone for both players. I feel like both players have done the right thing. I do feel like Marine Lord is at an advantage because he did start off with his second town center a bit earlier, and he's also got that relic advantage with regard to just having warrior monks, which are obviously great, but it doesn't really set him apart from the English. And as I mentioned earlier, you still would rather be the English in the late game, and naturally the longer this, or the further the game goes on like this, the longer it is, or the more likely it is to go to a very late game. I think the only thing that could really swing it is if someone took a bad fight and then gets punished for it. That's obviously going to be the big thing if you like, but everything so far indicates to me that this is going to be a 35-minute game. So we'll look to see how it goes because there could always be a potential mix-up that happens right here, but I'm still very impressed that Caspar has gone for that Abbey of Kings, because the Abbey of Kings is limiting in a number of ways. Don't just think of it as something like, a lot of people would be like, all right, well, you know, the Abbey of Kings, you just cut off your foot, it's fine, you can still walk on your stump. Well, yeah, it's kind of like that, but think of it a bit more like gangrene, because with the Abbey of Kings, like, sure, now your foot, it is, you know, it's going to fall off, but the thing is, you're infecting your entire leg, because now it's harder for you to transition into longbows. If you had just gone for the council hall here, you would be easily able to transition into longbows if you wanted to, but you're not going to be able to easily do that anymore. You're going to have to drop down archery ranges. You're going to have to do things the hard way. You're going to have to find extra space in your base for your archery ranges, and we can see, obviously, he's got no archery ranges down yet, so no intents on going into it, but by the same token, then your enemy realizes, because if they're scouting you out, then they know that you're not going to be going for archers, and now we see Springwood emplacements coming through on the wooden fortress. Going to be a very effective counter to any of these raids coming through, and look... Springwood emplacement just doing what Springwood emplacements do very good, killing things. Look at that, and of course you send the horseman away to make sure it survives, and then the Springwood emplacement's got the lock on, so it then comes out and fires beyond its range, and then all of a sudden your unit goes back in to die, even though you told it to. I've had that issue happen to me before, and God, it annoyed me. I think I lost like 10 spears at like the 12th minute, the 13th minute in the game. I was crying, dude. I was absolutely rolling on the ground. My spearman, my spearman. That was me. But now we can see Marine Lord, he spots out that his enemy is picking up those relics, he's taking the sacred site, so he's focusing on those religious obligations, but it looked like 4 relics is going to get picked up here. Marine Lord going to be a happy little camper over on this northern side of the map. He's got 4 relics, he's obviously going to be able to grab this sacred site at the back, and you can see that he's got his warrior monk moving out there. A couple crossbows now beginning to move into the mix as well. Marine Lord going to be dropping down that Wallalor. I do like it. Very nice defensive Wallalor, going to be able to keep that crossbow alive. Continues firing off, and look at the range coming out from that crossbow. Impressive girth that you got right right there, my friend. But villagers, it looks like one of them did go down. We'll take a look. Yeah, one villager is indeed down. But that outpost, that wooden fortress, going to be providing great line of sight over that area. Another monk moving up. It's looking for that relic. Unfortunately, my friend, that relic is gone. And so are you. Because there was an outpost there. With an emplacement. With a very good emplacement. But now in the middle of the map, Marine Lord looking to push out. Looking to dish out some damage. He's got a nice little force of archers here. I'm curious exactly how his opponent, Casper, is going to look to try and take it out. We can see that he's continued to lose units throughout this game. The population difference between these two players is starting to get bigger and bigger. In fact, where is Casper's army at this point? He's got 1,100 resources, but I'm starting to wonder, where has it gone? He's transitioned well into farms, but his food economy right now is lacking, to say the least. When you see the difference between these two guys and the amount of units that they've got, Casper just all of a sudden looks like he's barely even showed up to breakfast. What is going on right now? How is Marine Lord all of a sudden just gone ahead so much faster, so much further than Casper? Casper, he's going to need a keep to come down in this position, and he is actually mining stone, so he's doing the right thing. He's going to need to drop a keep right here if he wants to stay alive. He's going to be trying his best. You can see he's moving villagers back towards this. He's got enough to drop down that keep now. He's going to need it up sooner rather than later, but I'm fearful that Marine Lord might even be thinking about a trebuchet himself as the sacred sites continue to get captured up. And this is the thing, right? Like, even by taking or putting a keep down, you're just delaying the inevitable because you're not really securing much. You're just keeping yourself alive. You're just saying, hey, you can't come in here. You can't force your way into this base. But, you know, Marine Lord doesn't mind. He's got relics. He's got 4 relics behind this. He's got 2 sacred sites. He's got the 600 gold that is trickling in. Don't even mention the fact that he's got absolutely insane hunting cabins that are here working their way up as well. And now Marine Lord looking to siege in on the backside. Where is that keep going down? Where is that keep going down? We don't even see the keep coming up yet. Keep might even have to go down in the wood line at this point in time. Casper now sitting on floating 1,400 stone. He's going to be coming out. Nice little screen coming in from those knights. And why is Casper taking this fight? This is a terrible fight coming out for Casper. He's looking to commit to a fight out here. There's crossbows in here. These archers are doing so much damage. These guys have got +1. You can't be fighting this, Casper. What are you doing? You got your +2 range defense. Yeah, sure, but there's crossbows mixed in there, mate. What are you doing, you crazy cat? You're on. This is the final game. I guess he's just looking to trade out, trying to get that Abbey of Kings healing in. Like, okay, sure, it works, it works. But now he's in a difficult spot. 1,500 stone has been completely mined out. His villagers going to have to turn their attention either towards the farms or look to try and get up a keep. I don't even think he's actually got space in there now that I think of it. Yeah, there's no space in there. It looks like it's a juicy spot because the Abbey of Kings is has got a nice little green corner, but it is not. He's got no space for that keep to go up, and this is the consequence of going for that Abbey of Kings, because now all of a sudden, if you want to go for archery ranges, you've got nowhere to put them, and all of a sudden, Casper is on the edge right now, and now we see a keep coming down from Marine Lord. Marine Lord pulling 8 villagers as he does it as well. Plenty of gold in the bank, and now units continuing to move out. Those crossbows just chicking off, and now going to be looking to try and take down the villagers here, but trading out 8 villagers at this point just for a couple of nights. You got to say, it would feel like a great trade. Marine Lord going to be looking to try and do as much damage as possible in this position, and keep in mind, we are on match point right here for both of these players. The victor of this game moves through to the next round. The loser will be going home, and if it's Casper, he will not be attending the final fight between all of the players in the Golden League. He needs to win this game. It is imperative that he wins this game, and I can't believe he brings out the Abbey of Kings in this final game on this map, and now we see more barracks beginning to be made. Is he looking to transition into a potential men-at-arms switch? It's going to take time, though, for him to get there. You can see he's looking. He doesn't even have early men-at-arms yet, let alone veteran men-at-arms or castle-age men-at-arms. I can't think of what he's trying to do in this position, and now we see more knights beginning to come out, and remember, there's crossbows mixed in here as well. A lot of crossbows. Marine Lord's looking good at this point in time. Marine Lord looking overwhelmingly good, and this is what I was talking about. If somebody takes a bad fight, then all of a sudden the idea that this game would go long goes out the window, because Marine Lord just somehow builds up this massive army, and Casper, I don't know what he was doing. He must have been twiddling his thumbs or something, because he has got absolutely nothing to show for all of this investment that he's put in towards his economy. The villager count at the moment is looking relatively even. Casper only down by about 16, 17 villagers now, but the real difference is that military. You got 52 for Marine Lord. You got 7 for Casper. Casper barely here with just a couple of horsemen. These are only feudal age horsemen as well. Not going to be able to do much. Completely outnumbered by the veteran knights or the castle age knights here. Casper not looking good and trying to drop down a keep now, but it's doubtful that this keep is going to get up. There are so many knights here, and that's an English keep, and indeed Casper taps out. Good game gets called. Marine Lord goes through to the next round, and Casper taps out of this tournament and makes his exit. Unfortunate stuff for Casper, but he will not be going through to the main event. Fellas, if you have enjoyed this cast, well, make sure you check out EGC TV's Golden League this weekend, 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday. Be there or be square, and I'll see you there.